the Trump administration has decided to escalate massively the war deployment against Venezuela. Not only is deployed a fleet, a war fleet, including F-35 warplanes, plus God knows what else, but including a nuclear submarine in the Caribbean Sea, which is extremely threatening and extremely dangerous. Not only that, they have attacked small boats, 5 so far, according to the information given by the United States itself. And that means that the United States is prepared to act militarily, even engaging in extrajudicial killing. 21 people have been killed already in those attacks. And worse, Trump has just said that he's considering evolving what he called the maritime war against drug trafficking, that is to say, against Venezuela, into a land one. And he is suggested to identify specific targets within the territory of Venezuela itself to strike militarily, arguing that this is drug trafficking. This is extremely, extremely worrying. We do not know how far this is going to go, but what we do know is that the United States is seeking permission or seeking agreement. I suppose the United States doesn't have permission. It forces countries to accept things that he wants to do, particularly in that area that he dominates. He's asked the country Grenada, which is a very small country with about 150,000 inhabitants, to allow US troops to be deployed there. The United States is also militarizing the whole business of Guyana next door to Venezuela. And then he's also asked the Puerto Rican authorities, certainly the governor is very pro-Trump and very much in favor of supporting this, in order to actually, use the territory of Puerto Rico as well as a launching pad, plus several other military bases the United States has in the region. So this is extremely, extremely threatening. And the more time it goes by, the more is worrying. And this is, I think, the dimensional dynamics of the situation. It is totally clear, even from within the United States, that this is based on false pretenses, it's false pretext. It's just not true what they're trying to do in terms of the excuses that they give. And there is beginning to rise opposition within the United States, including people such as Hillary Clinton, who condemned the whole thing. Not everything, but voices like that from the establishment itself are getting extremely worried. So therefore, the more time goes by and the less the administration of Trump is able to produce a result of what he's trying to do in Venezuela, then the more desperate they're going to get in order to do something dramatic about it. And this is my main worry, our main worry, which is, as they're failing in obtaining, the narrative, in winning the narrative, quite the opposite, they're losing the narrative, and then escalating the war, then they want to do something in order not to come back, if they're going to go back to the United States empty-handed. And this is a very significant incentive for them to actually do something about it. And given that things are going wrong for Trump domestically, it's basically chaos and a mess over there, then he is desperate to get some foreign policy success. And this is one. So the real thing is that the United States is desperate to actually try to do something about here. And there is another important dimension to bear in mind, which might be an extra incentive for the United States to attack Venezuela militarily, which is, given the mess that the United States in the past 20 years has created in the Middle East, and even the intensification of that in the latter period, particularly with Gaza, then there is a possibility, and these strategies of the United States have been thinking about this and saying it publicly, that it might be possible that somehow the Hormuz Strait can be blockaded, and therefore oil will stop being supplied to the United States from the Middle East. It takes about 40 to 45 days for the oil from the Middle East to get to the United States. It will take only 4 days from Venezuela. And Trump and his state secretaries before, in the Trump #1 and then Trump #2, always said that they want the Venezuelan oil. So the obstacle that they have is that there is a government, such as the Venezuelan government, led by President Maduro, that is prepared to defend this country, to ensure that the revenues that the oil industry produces actually benefit the people. And the number of benefits that Venezuela has are enormous. So the United States, on the one hand, does not want the success of a socialist government in the region. But more important, that it wants to lay their filthy hands on the largest reserves of oil in the world, which will resolve the problems that they have and they're creating for themselves by messing up the whole world as they have done. So these are extremely dangerous times, and we want everybody to pay attention, to be very well informed. And if you belong to any organization, to any trade union branch, to any association, to any body of any kind in the UK, but also if you listen to this, if you are elsewhere, please issue a statement of condemnation and opposition to the war drive by the United States against the people of Venezuela and the nation of Venezuela and the government of Venezuela. We want to make our voices heard very clearly. No blood for oil. No blood for oil. And the United States hands off Venezuela.